Hello everyone, welcome back to the Kind Verse channel first of all. Subscribe my channel if you have not subscribed. Please subscribe. Like and share my videos, because today's topic is one of the most intense and shocking updates in the ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine. What we are going to break down is the massive drone swarm attack that shook Moscow, where 93 Ukrainian drones were launched deep into Russian territory. This was not just another strike. This was a turning point that displayed new levels of military technology, resilience, and strategy. In this video, we will carefully examine the exterior, the interior, the performance, the safety features, the unique selling points, the price, and finally we will deliver a strong conclusion on what this means not just for Moscow, not just for Ukraine, but for the entire global stage. When you first look at the exterior of this situation, what stands out immediately is the sheer number of drones involved. 93 drones in the sky, launched simultaneously, is not just an attack. It is a storm. It is a swarm. It is a moving cloud of technology. From the outside, anyone observing would see what appeared like a fleet of small flying machines filling the night sky over Moscow, like a scene from a futuristic movie, but happening in real life. The exterior impression alone was meant to send shockwaves, to create fear, to demonstrate power and coordination. Russia is known for its strict air defenses, yet to witness so many drones pushing deep inside showed that the exterior pressure of this swarm was overwhelming. The sheer visibility of 93 drones was the psychological first strike, making people in Moscow look up and realize their capital city was not untouchable. Now, when we step into the interior side of this story, things become even more complicated, layered, and fascinating. The inside details reveal how Ukraine managed to coordinate such a large-scale operation. Unlike traditional missiles or rockets that are expensive, drones offer a cheaper and flexible alternative. But the challenge lies in managing them as a unit. The interior strategy required for 93 drones is extraordinary. Each drone had to be programmed, guided, and launched with precision. Some were kamikaze drones designed to explode on impact. Others may have been surveillance drones to map out defense weaknesses. And still others were decoys to confuse Russian radar. Inside the command center where this operation was directed, Ukrainian military strategists had to calculate timing, weather, flight paths, and even fuel endurance for every single drone. Imagine the complexity of ensuring that 93 individual machines, each with its own mechanics, battery systems, navigation equipment, and warheads, could fly hundreds of kilometers and converge on the same target region. From an interior technological point of view, this swarm represents a leap forward. Modern drones can be equipped with GPS navigation, thermal imaging, and even artificial intelligence for autonomous targeting. Ukraine has been developing and also receiving Western technology to upgrade its drones, and this attack was a showcase of that evolving capacity. Internally, each drone is relatively small, sometimes the size of a large suitcase or smaller, yet capable of carrying explosives strong enough to damage infrastructure. What makes the interior even more important is the fact that these drones are harder to detect compared to larger aircraft. Russian air defenses are built to detect missiles, fighter jets, and bombers. But when it comes to drones flying at low altitude with small radar signatures, their systems struggle. This means the interior design of each drone was tailored for stealth, endurance, and precision. The interior picture also shows us how morale and strategy are intertwined. Inside Ukraine, this swarm was not just about hitting a target, but about sending a message. Ukrainians inside command posts, watching their drones fly towards Moscow, were carrying the weight of symbolism, that they could strike at the very heart of Russia. Inside Russia, meanwhile, ordinary citizens sitting in their apartments or walking down the streets of Moscow suddenly found themselves listening to sirens, explosions, and interceptors firing into the night sky. The interior emotional reaction of fear, anxiety, and disbelief spread rapidly through the capital. For years, Russians had been told the war was far away, happening only in Ukraine. This swarm pierced that illusion. It forced the interior reality of the war directly into the Russian psyche. When we analyze the performance of this swarm attack, the results are dramatic. 93 drones were launched, and Russia claims it intercepted a majority of them, while Ukraine points out that several did hit critical sites. Performance in military terms is not just about hitting the target, but about testing the enemy's defense. Even if only a fraction of drones made it through, the performance was significant because it forced Russia to expend valuable interceptor missiles, mobilize radar systems, and reveal weaknesses in their air shield. The fact that drones reached Moscow at all is proof of strong performance. In performance analysis, you look at cost versus effect. Drones are relatively cheap, sometimes only a few $1,000s to build, while the missiles fired to stop them can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars each. That means Ukraine is performing economically as well as militarily, draining Russian resources with every swarm. The performance of individual drones also highlights speed, endurance, and adaptability. Many of these drones can travel hundreds of kilometers at steady speeds, guided by GPS or pre-programmed routes. They are designed to fly low, avoid detection, and carry enough explosives to damage oil depots, factories, or communication centers. The swarm's performance also lies in its psychological effectiveness. Every explosion inside Moscow, even if small, has an outsized impact on civilian perception and political stability. Performance is not measured only in destroyed buildings, but in the shaking confidence of a population and the global media coverage that follows. Moving to safety features. It may sound unusual to talk about safety when discussing weapons, but in this context, safety features refer to how drones are designed to avoid early detection and maximize operator protection. For Ukraine, the safety feature of drones is that they keep human pilots and soldiers out of harm's way. No one needs to sit inside a cockpit flying into enemy territory. Instead, drones act as expendable machines that can take the risk. Their small size and often composite construction give them a safety advantage. They can fly under radar, they can be launched from remote areas, and they do not require heavy infrastructure. On the Russian side, the safety response involved activating layered air defenses, anti-aircraft guns, missile batteries, and electronic warfare systems to jam signals. But safety in Moscow also extended to civilians being told to stay indoors, shelters being prepared, and emergency services rushing across the city. The unique selling points of this swarm attack are striking. First, it shows that quantity can overwhelm quality. Russia has powerful defense systems, but facing 93 drones at once is like trying to stop a flood with a single barrier. The unique selling point for Ukraine is that drones can be mass-produced, adapted quickly, and deployed in creative ways. Another unique selling point is the symbolic nature of striking Moscow, which is not just a military target but a political and psychological one. The swarm demonstrates resilience. Ukraine, under constant bombardment, is still capable of launching offensive actions deep into enemy territory. It also highlights the modern shift in warfare. The battlefield is no longer limited to tanks, jets, and missiles. Small, cheap drones have become powerful tools of asymmetric warfare. For the global audience, the unique selling point is clear. Technology is rewriting the rules of war, and this event will be studied by militaries around the world. When we talk about price, the difference becomes dramatic. A single drone can cost a few $1,000s to manufacture, sometimes even less if commercial components are used. In contrast, the missiles Russia fires to intercept them can cost anywhere between $100,000 to $500,000 each. That means the price battle is in Ukraine's favor. By spending less, they force Russia to spend more. This cost imbalance is one of the reasons swarms are effective. For Russia, the price of protecting Moscow is becoming unsustainable. Every attack forces them to deplete stockpiles of expensive weaponry, and in a prolonged war, this imbalance adds up. From Ukraine's perspective, the price of deploying 93 drones is still cheaper than firing 93 cruise missiles or sending manned aircraft. The economics of drone warfare are reshaping how both sides think about strategy. In conclusion, the massive drone swarm attack on Moscow with 93 Ukrainian drones is more than just a headline. It is a glimpse into the future of warfare. From the exterior visual shock of drones filling the night sky, to the interior complexity of coordination and technology, from the strong performance that challenges Russian defenses, to the safety features that keep human operators out of harm's way, from the unique selling points that highlight the shift to low-cost, high-impact warfare, to the striking difference in price that tilts the economic balance. This event tells us everything we need to know about where this conflict is heading. It shows that Ukraine is not only defending but innovating, adapting, and striking back in ways that catch the world's attention. For Russia, it is a warning that their capital is not beyond reach. And for the world,